Welcome to Crazy Shit in Real Estate, a weekly podcast where I walk you through some of the wildest, most unbelievable stories you'll hear from the world of real estate. If you like real estate and you love crazy, this is the podcast for you.
Hello, friends. Leigh Brown here. I've got a guest for you today that's an entirely different space. So we're not going to talk about real estate transactions today or sex in open houses and dead people. None of that stuff today. Today, I'm bringing you Eric Siu. Eric is a marketer, an entrepreneur, a gamification guy who is seeing life from a different kind of risk and reward ratio. It's got an application to your life if you will sit back and listen and think. I really can't wait to hear your feedback on this episode because I could have talked to Eric for hours. So dial in and enjoy. Okay, friends, you know that I have a little bit of an addiction to books. And so, of course, after I grabbed Eric Siu's book, Leveling Up, I bought 4 extra copies because y'all might need it too. And so I'm going to do a giveaway. Here's the skinny. Number 1, you got to leave a review on Apple Podcasts because they like to see reviews. And number 2, take a screenshot of that review because I want to see what you said. Hopefully it was super nice. And then you're going to email that screenshot to hello@leighbrown.com. That's hello@leighbrown.com. Or for extra credit, high fives, and gold stars, share your review as an IG story and tag me. And then we're going to pick 4 winners who will be lucky enough to get to read this amazing book. All right. So, welcome to my podcast. This is Crazy Shit in Real Estate. I don't know if you've had a chance to enjoy some of the wild stories, but Eric, you're a little bit different. So we're going to take an entirely different direction for Crazy Shit because it's my podcast and I can do whatever I want. So for all of my viewers and listeners, I should point the right way. This is Eric Siu. So Eric, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Leigh.
So I'd love for you to tell my listeners what exactly it is that you're doing in life. Tell us about what Leveling Up is without pitching, because you get to tell people about your book at the end if they didn't really figure out that they should look it up by seeing it in your backdrop. But for my audio listeners, don't stress. This is not an actual pitch. I want Eric to tell you what he's doing because there's an amazing overlay with what Eric's doing in his space that falls into your professional space too. So I'd love for you to tell us a little bit, Eric. How did you land in this leveling up space? How did you find this talent that you have that you're using? In fact, you know what? Let's just back it up. Where do you live, Eric? What's your background?
Well,
let's go old school.
I'm in LA. I grew up in LA, and it's not the castle back here. If you're watching the video, long story short, I basically lucked into entrepreneurship. So I took over this ad agency when I was about 27 years old. I had no idea what I was doing. I was able to, my first mergers and acquisitions deal, I'm air quoting right now. I bought the company for $2 because it was a failing company.
Are you serious?
Yeah, $2.
So wait. You got to back that up. So they were going to close the doors?
Yeah.
And you said, let me just take it and here's $2 and go away?
Yeah, here's stupid me. So, okay, stupid me. I was like, hey, I think I can make it work. So what I was looking at was this is asymmetric upside. So I'm making a big bet here, understanding that if it works, my upside's unlimited. If it doesn't work, then my downside's capped because I put in a contingency saying if the company failed, I would owe nothing. So I'll get a lot of learnings. The worst case scenario, best case scenario, unlimited, right? And what I was looking to do with the service business was to take the cash flows from it and reinvest it into more exponential or more durable sources of income. And I can go deeper if you want, but we'll keep it at that for right now. So
let's just stop there for 1 second because you live the risk reward ratio. And I think too many people, because they get so just drilled into their day-to-day routine, they forget that everything has a risk, but everything also has a reward. And the more risk one takes, the more reward is possible. And those people who like to get in their rut and stay in their rut, then one day they look up and say, how come I'm not knocking the cover off the ball? How come I'm not a billionaire? Well, if you don't take the risk, it's hard to find the great rewards. I need you guys to dial into that with what Eric said, because it sounds like it's just a little blip in your story, but it's the blip in your story that could change somebody else's life if they would realize that sometimes you take the step and see what happens. And you built in even a parachute for yourself with that contingency plan.
Yeah, I mean, it's calculated risk, right? There's a great book called The Dundo Investor. So it's from this investor named Manish Prabrai. And the whole idea is heads I win, tails I don't lose much, right? And so you're capping your downside. I mean, by the way, relating this to gaming a little bit, I played a ton of poker in college. I played like I didn't go to class. I played 10 to 14 hours of poker a day.
A day?
And so all the economics majors went to this tutor called Econ Tutor, and he basically shared the answers with us, and we all get automatic Bs, right? I was like, okay, there's no incentive for me to go to class, so I'm going to play poker. And so that taught me, I think poker is almost, in my opinion, required learning, because it teaches you about life and business, bankroll management. It teaches you how to be resilient. It teaches you how to deal with frustration, how to think in bets, all these elements that tie in with real estate or investing in general. Poker teaches you a lot.
I never thought about poker teaching resilience before, but Eric, I think we're going to have to start a whole charter school movement to teach the younger generation resilience, because that's one of the things I see I have 2 teenagers in my house with this under 18 set. They're really good at thinking. They're really good at paying attention, but they have zero resilience. They get a roadblock, they're knocked down, they bury in the screen instead of fighting their way through. And in poker, you can't fold every hand. If you fold every hand, you're done so quickly. I think you and I need to explore this, because this is something we could do in the educational system.
Let's explore it. Well, let's. I think, okay, bringing this to your kids for a second, I think this would be amazing, because for poker, look, you can play your best game, your A game, for 3 months at a time, 6 months at a time, 12 months at a time. Variance, the numbers will catch up with you. You can lose all 12 months. And I've had a period where I would be unstoppable for 3 months. I remember one time I was 18 years old. I was going to the Indian casino, and then I would walk in, and then the dealers would be like, oh, look, it's the kid that never loses, right? It wasn't like I'm good or anything. It was because I was just getting really lucky. But then I would have stretches where I'd lose for 6 months straight, and I would just go nuts. Over time, you realize that the one thing that you can control is your emotions, and you can either go nuts or you can stay level-headed and just understand it, and understand that it is what it is. It's not like good or bad. It is what it is, and you're just going to keep moving. And that you learn, and you learn to become detached to a lot of outcomes. And that comes from poker, right? All these things add up to the world of business or investing. You have to become detached to outcomes.
So Eric, is that how you landed in your leveling up space? Was it through poker, or are we writing your second book right now, frankly?
I appreciate that. Well, no, so I started playing computer games or video games since I was 9 years old. I didn't stop until I was maybe 22 years old or so.
What's your favorite? Tell us your favorite.
Probably EverQuest or World of Warcraft.
Okay, so you're a WoW guy. Got it. My son plays Minecraft and Roblox from time to time. My daughter loves Roblox, and they're teenagers and they haven't outgrown it. But my husband plays, Clash of Clans and that kind of stuff.
Your entire family plays. Nice.
They do. I'm the one that plays Words with Friends, so I'm slightly different kind of a gamer.
Well, you're playing business. That's the ultimate game. So that's okay. So look, there's all these games I played growing up, and there's all these elements. Look, like when I was 12 years old, I didn't gain. This is probably the biggest confidence booster for me ever, because I won a championship. What I did in preliminaries, these are like one-on-one fights with people, right? It's like if you win, you're the champion, right? And then so in preliminaries, I got destroyed. But then when the actual tournament started, I just copied this one person's tactics and I made it my own. And at that very moment, so I swept everyone. I won the championship. And then after I won, I was like, oh, that's all I have to do in life. I just need to learn from other people and then iterate as it fits me, because everyone's different. Whether it's for life or business, same thing. And look at everything around you. This mouse over here, Apple stole this from Xerox. They stole the mouse from Xerox, okay? They stole the GUI, the graphical user interface, from Xerox. Steve Jobs himself said that everything in life is a remix, okay? You look at Elon Musk's SpaceX rockets, they look the same as old rockets. It's just, they can come back to Earth, which is a big difference, right? So I don't want to take that away. And then finally, you have Picasso that said, great artists steal, right? So we need a takeaway. One of the chapters in the book is about thievery. That's what I'm talking about right now. And we hold this whole, like, we have to be original. We have to be, it's so sacred to be original. The reality is we're all just copying each other. So. Well,
in real estate, we call that R&D. Rip off and duplicate. And
I love that.
You don't have to recreate the wheel. You just take somebody else's wheel, you fine tune it, put different rims on it. You might make it wider or slimmer, different kinds of roads that we ride on.
Yeah.
But most great people will give you everything that they've learned and everything they failed at, and they will give you everything you need to be successful. But most of the public ignores all the lessons for the same thing you're talking about. There's this inherent bias that says we have to do something unheard of and completely brand new, but that could happen. It's just a shot in the dark to be the unicorn when you could actually just be the Arabian who wins and does it really well and stylishly by following the person who teaches you.
There you go. I love that. What was again R&D? How do you define it?
Rip off and duplicate.
Rip off and duplicate. I love that.
And I wish I could tell you who came up with that, but I don't remember because I ripped it off and duplicated it. But if I could remember, I'd totally give them credit.
I love that.
Hey, y'all, just going to take a quick break from this conversation to let you know about the sponsor of today's episode. That sponsor is, well, frankly, it's me. It's Leigh Brown University. Look, it's no secret that real estate is crazy competitive, getting more so every day. And when the pie doesn't get any bigger, but the people wanting a piece of it do, you've got to figure out a competitive advantage. And that's why I created Leigh Brown University. It's everything you need from soup to nuts, cradle to grave, point A to point B, whatever point B is. Each of you has different goals. So maybe you're a new to the career realtor, or you're a super experienced pro who can't figure out that next level. There's something in my course that's going to help you break through. It's designed for you before I even met you. So enroll in Leigh Brown University today. You go to www.leighbrownu.com and I'll see you there. Now, back to this amazing content. So tell me a little bit about what you're doing next. So you figure out that learning from people, finding out best strategies, and then making them your own takes you to the next level. What happened after that advertising agency that you took the giant risk on and then brought it back?
You know, what's funny, the entire thing is all about leveling up, because I subscribe to the whole Warren Buffett buy and hold model. So again, the thing has always been to, and thank you for that, it's always been to take the cash flows, go find other opportunities, right? So we have a software business. I'm actively buying other software businesses and other agency type businesses right now. And I operate within my circle of competence, right? There's another word for you. So I operate around marketing. I have, our podcasts, everything we have, it gets good traffic, right? So we're continually compounding on our marketing audience and then continuing to buy or build whatever makes sense and plugging it in. And then the beast is just going to get bigger and bigger. And the reason the book's called Leveling Up, by the way, is because if it's called Level Up, you're only going up one level. But leveling up is like you're trying to get 1% better every single day. And so for me, I'm largely living that. There's a whole play with the book too. But it's just funny. The book's about like my past, but it's like largely what I'm trying to live right now.
Well, my friend Maurice Taylor is a real estate instructor and a broker in Arkansas who also serves on his city council. And so he's forever leveling up in his community. And he lives by what you just said. He's always striving to be 1% better because, I think it's a middle-age thing. We hit that point of we can continually improve. And that's going to take us a lot further. It's no different than your money or the buy and hold strategy of Warren Buffett.
Yep.
The penny continually reinvested winds up being worth more than $1 million after 30 days because of the compound effect, not because of what looked big one time.
Yeah.
And I love what you mentioned there too, though. It tried to sneak in between what you said. You're talking about expanding your podcast and bringing in marketing and bringing in new ideas that match and fit your audience. So you're not out here grabbing something that's 180 degrees different, but you're bringing in things that make enough sense to expand. So can you talk about that a little bit? Because I find that to be more than that 1% return actually on your scalability when let's look at this one extra angle. Like I keep hearing real estate echoes in everything that you say, because that's the space I'm in, which is why I wanted you to come talk to my audience, because I know that you're going to expand out this much, but it's not like we're talking about fixing a Ford truck, which is slightly off kilter.
So what I'm trying to do right now, there's an agency I'm looking to acquire. They're doing $7 million top line, which is great, but there's much more that goes into that type of acquisition. So to your point, Leigh, 1 + 1 equals, I'm looking for transactions where it's 1 + 1 = 3 = 5, right? I'm looking for more leverage points. And so by the way, this entire thing is like playing a game. I'm taking different puzzles and I'm plugging them in, or pieces to the puzzle. And so okay, what do I get? Maybe there's a team that comes with it that where they can help our website grow our traffic even more. And they can help this other subset of our site where we have affiliate income, where basically people are paying us a commission to refer their stuff. That will grow as well. Oh, by the way, this entire team can help us with our software company too. Okay, there's 3 leverage points right there. Oh, by the way, when I buy the company, it's going to basically pay for itself. Oh, but wait, if I get this SBA loan as well to buy the company, I basically don't pay anything. So what is going on right here? This is unfair. I'm going to do it.
But you know what, though? There's a human aspect of what you're doing that's the underlying current here. When you take that one team that you're acquiring so that they can benefit the scalability of your other projects, you're also growing each one of those individuals because they get to get out of the one silo they were in and say, oh, I have the skills. I can grow here too. So I look at what you're doing as not just expanding your businesses, your bottom line, your net profits, and your future growth. You're future casting for all of these people that were in these spaces who maybe didn't have the big vision, but can buy into a bigger vision. I love that.
I'm so glad that you said that because we have boomerang team members. So people that would leave and they'll come back. And we have a guy coming back next week. He went to go work for Disney for a year and he's like, I'm coming back. We have one person that is going to come back a third time. And we have another person that might come back a third time too. So to your point, at the end of the day, if you want all this stuff to happen, if you want to create an amazing business, or if you want to do that, it all comes down to the people around you and the team. And I didn't realize that early in my career. I thought it was all about how good I am as a marketer, all about execution. And then all the stuff you read about in the books, it's all about culture. It's all about communication. And you realize, oh crap, if I want to build something for the long term, I have to build an amazing culture. And there's a whole game within that too, right? So there's really no incentive for me to play any other games right now because the game of life and business is so much more fun.
I love that too. I do think it's the folly of youth, though, when you're young and you feel invincible and you feel like your ideas are top of the mountain. It does take a little bit of seasoning in life to realize that we can get way bigger if we bring people into the vision with us to where they think it's their vision. And sometimes it does become their vision. You and I can become the footnote in somebody else's book, which I would have to wager that if somebody else took your ideas and scaled it 10x, you would look at it and say, that was one of my people. That was one of my boomerangs. Yep. And the proud papa in you would take over, just like I have that same feeling when I watch somebody else go succeed. And the world's big enough. I wish everybody remembered that it's a really big world we live in, full of really great, amazing people. Leveling up doesn't have to be a solo journey.
You know, that's really well said. And I think the world I come from, this internet marketing world, one person said that, internet marketers tend to be the hillbillies of entrepreneurs.
Good.
So that's why I went into the world of tech because I was like, I want to straddle the line. So I'm maybe not like labeled that way. Now I don't care anymore. But, I think what I'm basically getting at here is people that are too tunnel vision on short-term profits are the ones that don't end up caring about their team, their family, and all that. They just want the money, money, money. And it's all about prestige and that type of stuff. But when you think long-term, I mean, look at how Bill Gates or Warren Buffett, the way they dress, right? It's not like they care about their style. They just care about impact. But the problem is, well, not the problem. The good thing is, when you think about impact and shooting for the stars, you land on the moon, you're going to get an amazing result no matter what. So to your point, you just mentioned 10Xing, right? I think it's, whatever you're thinking, this comes from the late Tony Hsieh, just being able to think big.
So as we wrap up my episode, because of course I keep everything short, but I feel like you and I could dig into this for 3 hours, but people might get bored except for us. I'm curious if you had one tiny bit of advice on the real estate front from an investor standpoint, since you're a buy and hold guy. If there was one thing you could tell people to consider or know, or you would share with them before they buy their first piece of real estate, and knowing you're not in the real estate business full-time yourself, what's the one thing you would tell other people before they dial in?
Yeah, I really like this one quote from Howard Marks of Oak Tree Capital, and this applies for any form of investing. If you stand at one bus stop, the bus will eventually come. I'm paraphrasing right here. But if you run from bus stop to bus stop, you'll never reach a bus. You'll never catch a bus.
I never heard that quote before. That's awesome. And it's totally true. So basically you're saying buy something and then hang on to it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, just to give an example here, I kept changing different businesses. So I had a magic website. I have an IT training website. I tried to do the senior living business. I tried doing all these different things. Oh, there's this opportunity. And you realize the opportunity of a lifetime comes every single year. So like, stop jumping around. And so
Love that. Okay, Eric. So we know that you're Eric Siu. I know that our video viewers have long since gone to Amazon to purchase your book, or they've gone to your website to purchase your book. Our audio listeners are going to go to the show notes. So tell them where they can find you, where they can find your book. How is it best to connect with you if they want to learn from you as you grow?
Yeah, I appreciate that. So you can go to levelingup.com. That was a whole game in itself to get that domain, levelingup.com, or you can go to your favorite online retailer, or you can just hit me up on Instagram or Twitter, same screen name at Eric OSIU.
And go to levelingup.com to buy the book, friends, because we know you love your online retailers, but buying direct from the source is a special level of taking care of entrepreneurs and neighbors who are putting amazing content out into the world. Eric, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and for giving me a lot of really interesting angles to think about. And frankly, I'm going to circle back with you on starting this school built around poker, because I think we have a winning idea here.
I think that's going to be big, and I'm all about education. So thanks for having me. Thanks for having me, Leigh. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, make sure you subscribe for more, because frankly, you know, you're never going to know what you're going to run into here on Crazy Shit in Real Estate. And I'll see you next time.
If you are listening to this episode and you need to tell us something about your crazy life in or around real estate, then tweet me at Leigh Brown or reach me on any of the social networks. That's if you're a broker, realtor, investor, inspector, lender, or just a regular, normal human being who happens to have dealt in real estate. Subscribe for more episodes, and as always, we are thrilled that you joined us for some crazy shit in real estate. See you next time.